This is Ristar for the SEGA Genesis. It's one of those unique 2D platformers that try to do something a little different with the genre. It's not bad really, but nothing special. Story is, there's this alien named Greedy, and he's being a jerk. So some guys make a wish, and the main character, Ristar, answers that wish. And Ristar is a star, so I guess they're wishing on a shooting star or something? I don't know. So Ristar has to go to each planet, beat up Greedy's minions, save everyone. And apparently Greedy also captured Ristar's father. I don't know why that's important. Basically, story sucks. But that's okay as long as the gameplay's good. Like I said, Ristar's a 2D platformer. Just jump around and kick butt. Ristar attacks by stretching out his arms and grabbing enemies, then he headbutts them. It works and it has good range, so no complaints there, but nothing special. When you get hit, you have a few seconds from where you're safe from any more damage, just like any other game. But with Ristar, it doesn't seem to work consistently. Like right there, I just got hit twice. And then I get hit again because I just barely missed the enemy that I went to grab. One more hit and I'm dead. These kind of moments don't happen too often, but it's still an annoyance. Ristar can also grab hold of some objects and swing from them. The physics for swinging are really great, and they feel natural, but for whatever reason, this never seems to get enough mileage. You can also hang from enemies, but you can't let go of them without attacking them. This would have been another great way to use the swing mechanic, but instead, it feels wasted. This part really bothers me. These things don't even die, but Ristar insists on attacking them. The whole swinging thing was really a wasted opportunity. The level design is really cool though. There's plenty of variety to keep things interesting, and there's never a moment where you should find yourself lost. There's a couple of levels where the path can branch off in multiple directions, which is really cool, but this also isn't used enough, and when it is used, it hardly makes a difference anyway. The game is pretty lengthy. You've got 6 planets to go through, and each planet consists of 2 sections, with a minor boss at the end of the first section, and a major boss at the end of the second section. Each level is also really long, with plenty to see and do, and no background is ever used twice, which adds a lot to the game's variety in the long run. So, you've got 12 long levels to go through, plus a shortened final level that's mostly just a boss battle. It'll take the average player about 3 to 4 hours to complete in one shot, which is expected from a 16-bit game. The bosses are really awesome. They're all big, unique, and require a specific strategy to defeat, and it never gets too difficult that it becomes frustrating. There are a few moments that's pretty asinine though. The beginning of this boss has rocks falling from the ceiling. The rocks have such a random pattern and are so fast that there's no way to avoid getting hit at least once. You get to restore your health before the battle actually starts, but then what's the point? It's like the developers knew they screwed up, but instead of getting rid of the rocks, they just threw in some health, like it's their way of saying sorry. And this guy's absurd. You've got to hit the one with the helmet. Sounds easy, and it should be, but the 3D effects that they try to show off just suck. No matter how you look at it, you can't tell if an enemy is in the foreground, the background, or in the playing field. And this becomes a problem when there's a ton of them. Suddenly it becomes a gamble on whether or not you'll be able to jump past the enemies and hit the leader. And on top of that, you've got to hit him 5 times. For a late SEGA Genesis game, this is unforgivable. But luckily, this problem doesn't really spoil the whole game. Hidden in each level is a bonus stage. Finish the stage under the time limit, and you win a treasure. Collect as many treasures as you can to... Wait, is that a sword? Is that a sword that's on fire? Why won't Ristar just use that? Seriously. Anyway, collect as many treasures as you can to unlock secret codes at the end of the game. Sounds fair, and it adds replay value. The codes aren't really anything special though, and it kinda becomes a moot point. All you get that's worth playing for is a harder difficulty and a boss rush, if you're into that sort of thing. If they gave you something else worth playing for though, like a new character or remixed levels or something, then it would have been interesting. But as it stands, the bonus stages and the codes they give you aren't really worth it. Speaking of secrets, throughout the game are sections in the walls you can attack to make hidden gems and health drop. There's no way to tell if a wall has a secret though, so to make sure, you've got to climb up the whole way checking every section. It's just kind of annoying, and there should have been a better way to hide this stuff. I should also mention that the graphics and music are top notch. Aside from the story, nothing was spared in Ristar's presentation. Ristar is a great game, but it falls short of excellent. There are too many little things that drag it down, and too many other things that should have gotten more attention. And to think that Ristar comes from the same team that made Sonic the Hedgehog. Naturally, that bar of quality would be set just as high, but instead, you get a platformer that's just barely average. It's a great game and a rewarding experience, but it should have been a lot better. I'd give it a B-.